But the question for us is Donald Trump's election good news for Britain? Now, I think it is, because he's instinctively pro-British. I think it is because when he was president, he was more than happy to do a trade deal with us. The problem was our Conservative government hadn't got Brexit done. We weren't in a position to be able to do so. But given that Trump is saying 10% tariffs on anything that comes in from anywhere else in the world, that I think presents a big dilemma to Keir Starmer's government. There are other problems too. I suspect the handover of the Chagos Islands, casting long-term doubt over the naval base that the Americans use on Diego Garcia, I suspect that could become a problem. And not to mention some very disobliging things that have been said by very senior Labour politicians, including, of course, Sadiq Khan, who's now 10 years into an outright feud with Donald Trump.
Donald Trump rose to power, promising to change the entire global political landscape. And in this battle, Nigel Farage didn't miss the chance to continue dragging Keir Starmer down to the very bottom. Farage's sharp criticisms will make you reconsider Starmer. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the latest hot updates from British politics.
This Prime Minister hasn't got an earthly clue how to deal with it. We need to start getting tough. We need to use stop and search, regardless of the colour of the skin of anyone that gets stopped. We need tougher prison sentences for anybody carrying a knife.
Nigel Farage has never been one to shy away from a fight, and his latest clash with Keir Starmer is proof that he's still as fiery as ever. Farage, leader of the Reform Party, didn't just criticise Starmer, he left him completely speechless, attacking the Labour Party's empty promises on the migration crisis. With the whole country watching, Starmer's silence is deafening.
All of the problems. No, the far right are a reaction to fear, to discomfort, to unease that is out there shared by tens of millions of people. Let me be clear.
As someone who has always been outspoken about immigration, Farage not only condemns in general terms, but specifically targets Yvette Cooper, the Labour Party politician. According to him, Cooper not only represents the hollow promises of the party, but is also the epitome of a politician who uses tricks to win the favour of voters. Recently, Cooper declared that the Labour Party would aggressively deport tens of thousands of illegal immigrants by the end of the year. The promise sounds firm, and many might even mistake it for a revolutionary shift. However, for Farage, it is all just a clumsy political stunt staged to win public approval. He argues that even though the Labour Party constantly makes bold statements about tightening immigration controls, their actual actions rarely align with their words. Farage seizes every opportunity to expose the Labour Party's weakness and lack of consistency, particularly on this contentious issue. He claims that the party's supposedly no-nonsense promises are nothing more than a temporary attempt to placate public opinion without genuinely addressing the root causes of illegal immigration.
The far right are a reaction to fear, to discomfort, to unease that is out there shared by tens of millions of people. Let me be clear. I don't support street violence. I don't support thuggery in any way at all. But I'm worried, not just about the events in Southport, but about societal decline.
From Nigel Farage's perspective, the Labour Party's loud promises are merely meaningless statements thrown out to ease the growing discontent among the British public. Farage does not hesitate to point out that no matter how many hard-hitting slogans Keir Starmer and his party throw out, in the end, they will turn a blind eye and allow immigrants to stay without any real measures. Farage insists that the public has heard these bold statements from the Labour Party time and time again, but their actual actions are few and far between, if not completely non-existent. It is this inconsistency, the saying one thing and doing another, that frustrates Farage the most, and he does not hesitate to expose their hypocrisy. He argues passionately that, for years, the Labour Party has made empty promises about solving the immigration issue but has never followed through. And Farage is certain that this time will be no different. It is all just another political performance to deceive the public.
And all the different things and making sure we say the right things, that we don't incite violence. I mean, the guy is He's bad. He's an absolutely bad.
This sentiment is widely shared in Keir Starmer's constituency. People here increasingly feel abandoned, alienated by the political elite. They see illegal immigration as an issue beyond their control and no longer trust the latest commitments from the Labour Party, believing that nothing will change. For these voters, the promises from Yvette Cooper and other Labour leaders seem like futile attempts to regain lost trust. Farage quickly recognised this disappointment and exploited it to the full, turning it into a strong call to unite the dissatisfied and strengthen his own position, as well as that of the Reform Party.
The wake of the killings of those girls, absolutely horrific killings that obviously, across the nation, everybody was furious. Everybody wanted answers. We still don't know what the motive was. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to come out during the trial processes.
The public is now facing overwhelming frustration and a deep sense of disillusionment. Important issues they care about, such as immigration control and the protection of community identity, remain inadequately addressed. People are no longer patient with meaningless promises when no real action to change the situation has been forthcoming. And in particular, the Labour Party's policies have made people even more disappointed as they have failed to bring about any positive change. To them, the commitments from Yvette Cooper and the Labour leadership are merely desperate attempts to reclaim lost trust, but in reality, they only increase the public's frustration. Recognising this disappointment, Farage quickly seized on it and exploited it to his advantage. Not only does he criticise the Labour Party's policies, but he also reflects a deeper pain the public is experiencing, a sense of betrayal. They are tired of unfulfilled promises, and now they just want to find someone who is genuinely committed to taking action. That is why Farage's message resonates strongly, as it echoes the concerns and desires of the public, giving a voice to those who feel abandoned in the political conversation. However, when looking at Prime Minister Starmer's 9-minute speech, one cannot help but feel disappointed by his lack of confidence. Throughout the speech, Starmer had to glance down at his notes 150 times, meaning he referred to his material every 3.8 seconds. This not only raises doubts about his leadership abilities, but also highlights a lack of preparation and conviction, making it difficult for the public to trust in his leadership. On the other hand, Farage demonstrates much more strength and decisiveness when pointing out the issues that the public truly cares about. One of the key concerns he highlights is the housing plan in areas like Clacton, where the infrastructure is already stretched thin. Farage fears that these targets, imposed by the central government without proper consideration, will only worsen the lack of public services. Building hundreds of new homes without corresponding improvements in services like schools, hospitals, or parks will only lead to a chaotic and unsustainable situation. The questions Farage raises are not abstract theories, but genuine concerns of the public. How can communities accommodate more people without compromising the quality of life for current residents? And does the government truly understand the impact of its decisions on people's everyday lives? Farage cleverly taps into this frustration to foster empathy, especially in the context of people feeling they are bearing an unfair burden. According to him, the central government does not fully grasp the local situation when imposing remote decisions without listening to the real concerns of the people. For Farage's supporters, the issue is not just about policy or development goals, but about protecting their community values and quality of life. Meanwhile, Starmer's silence in the face of continuous criticism from Farage has raised questions about his strategy. Why would the leader of the Labour Party fail to respond strongly to such criticism? Is he afraid of directly confronting Farage, who is known for his fiercely competitive political style?